Hello, how are you guys doing today? My name is Kevin Lewis, and today I'm going to be talking to you about fashion ethics and Balenciaga. Um, Moving on. So today I'm going to be talking about the ethical issues that occurred in the Balenciaga campaign that resulted in immediate backlash of them using a child in a BDSM doll case. The ethical issues in the case ask whether public relations professionals should prioritize artistic freedom or public responsibility. Balenciaga released a campaign that many viewers interpreted as inappropriate due to its use of children alongside controversial imagery, like stated on the left. Um, because public relations shapes public perception, professionals must consider whether a campaign causes harm or even when artistic intention exists. So, why this is an ethical dilemma? This has become an ethical dilemma because luxury fashion often pushes boundaries to gain attention. You've seen this with Alexander McQueen, Chanel, just to name a few. And but when using children to become a part of a provocative message, ethical concerns increase significantly. PR professionals are expected to balance and brand creativity with social responsibility. But when looking at this did not occur, especially when vulnerable groups are affected, including that child. Moving on to slide four, talking about case description. On November 22nd, Balenciaga launched its gift shop holiday campaign. Um, and they did this to try to make something nice and sweet for the holiday season for people to enjoy. But the campaign featured a child holding a teddy bear handbag that is disguised as a teddy bear that has a BDSM harness on it. And for you guys that don't know what BDSM is, that is just another like sexual um style, to say the least. Um Although Balenciaga may have intended for the campaign to be artistic or edgy, many viewers believe that the imagery crossed a very big ethical line, and the campaign became very controversial very quickly due to it having inappropriate, you know, actions. Looking at the timeline of events after the campaign launched, criticism spread rapidly across social media platforms. This included Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Public backlash intensified as influencers, journalists, and consumers digested the information, and after digesting it, discussed it online. Within days, Balenciaga removed the campaign, and the controversy escalated very quickly because of how rapidly media spreads information in today's society. Moving on to slide six, we'll go into the public relations response. Balenciaga responded by removing the campaign materials and issued a public apology days later after the campaign was released. Um, the CEO, Cedric Shadbat, accepted responsibility, and the creative director, Dinma, also apologized publicly as well. After he apologized, they also sued their partner for $25 million. Um, Even though they sued them, it quickly got taken down because of them working together. It just didn't seem ethically valuable. But even though they took it down, critics still questioned whether the apology alone was enough. Moving on to the additional controversy slide, the controversy deepened when viewers noticed that the legal documents appearing in the second campaign um, kind of included documents that talked about the Supreme Court case, the United States versus Williams case. And that kind of relates to child exploitation laws as well. So they kind of went hand in hand together. Due to this happening, it just made their backlash get deeper. People just started to not even value the brand for what they even go by anymore. Coming on to slide eight, we go into our consequences and outcomes. The controversy created significant consequences for Balenciaga, and the public trust was declined. This is because social media criticism increased dramatically, and because of that, celebrities connected to the brand faced pressure to respond. People like Kim Kardashian ended up having to make a response just so she could protect her own brand, due to her being a mother, and she has different avenues of income like TV. She has her own clothing brand and makeup and things like that nature. So people not only including her, like Addison Rae and Kanye West, also had some sort of backlash as well if they represented the brand. Moving on to a professional context, again. Balenciaga was just trying to follow suits of like other main brands like Chanel and Alexander McQueen by doing some sort of shock value just to gain people's attention for their brand. This just didn't work in that sense. Instead, it just brought controversy. Due to that always occurring, fashion houses always keep a PR professional on standby. Most brands do that anyways, just in case some legal things occur, but um, a lot of fashion houses have a lot of writers on standby for this instance. We also learned that crisis response can make or break a person. So Balenciaga decided to wait a few days in order to take down their campaign, which is bad on their end. But even though they decided to take it down, it's better than doing nothing. Moving on to our choice of action here. We have option one, which is defend the campaign and their artist. Option two, remove the campaign and their apology. And then option three, remove the campaign, the apology to the public, and also release a new ethical policy so that this doesn't occur again. When we get into our claimant priorities, the most important claimant in this case are the children and the family because the children are considered vulnerable populations, and the public relations profession have we try to always have a responsibility to avoid messaging that could appear exploitive. Sorry, it's a hard word for me to pronounce, but exploitive. Um, because of this happening, consumers are also high priority claimants because without them, the public trust directly is impacting the brand's legitimacy. And without the public, the brand cannot, you know, stay relevant. The brand will then go out of business. Moving on into Canadian ethics. Canadian ethics focuses solely on the duty and respect of human dignity. Under this framework, you see a lot of individuals treating each other fairly. And when looking at option one, that just wasn't really it. That's just because it fails to prioritize brand defense over the human rights and their dignity. Um, Moving on to choice two, it partially meets the requirements of ethical obligations because it's only just removing the campaign. It's not giving any remediation. While option three is the strongest because the campaigns, it shows accountability with long-term ethical reform. And yeah, they're reforming everything their issues. Moving on to the utilitarian ethics, it evaluates actions based on this overall outcome. So because of that, the campaign generated attention even though the long term outweighed any short term, publicity stunts. So the public outrage demanded trust and reputational harm. And because of that, many stakeholders decided that they were just going to pull out until things got better. So choice three honestly creates the best overall benefit because it reduces harm while restoring their credibility. Kind of like in the other two options, choice three also is the best option for the virtue ethics as well. That's just because virtue ethics focuses on character and moral behavior. And in this instance, the ethical organizations need to be demonstrating honesty and accountability. And the only thing that follows that is choice three. Moving on to slide 14, we have the PRSA Code of Ethics, and those just support honesty, fairness, transparency, and serving the public. These principles are applied directly to this case. Sorry, because the public relations professionals should always avoid communication that harms vulnerable groups. That girl is considered a vulnerable group. So at the end of the day, PRSA Code of Ethics plays profoundly in this. Um, in our final ethical decision, the strongest ethical decision in this case will be choice three, removing the campaign. That's just because at the end of the day, removing the campaign, having a public apology, and also reforming it allows and shows the public that they cared. They don't want to repeat this again. And, we have to give people a second opportunity, especially when this is a loving brand that we always fully represent. At the end of the day, the Balenciaga controversy demonstrates that public relations professionals must think beyond creativity and consider the broader social impact of media campaigns. In conclusion, Balenciaga will always show why ethics truly determine entertainment and fashion media. And this is just another plain example of how fashion PR shapes current day culture and its values and aspects in our society. Thanks for listening. My name is Kevin Lewis, and enjoy the rest of your day. And